the state of crypto, the direction of crypto remains very unknown. Not even many hints right now. In this video, I want to dig into the Cardano charts and do a good old ADA technical analysis. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it. Let's jump into the Cardano video. I'm just like, you know what should I talk about today? And we've been kind of all over the place. I've been doing charts, but I've been talking about a lot of different things in terms of crypto, Cardano, doing Bitcoin. But I just thought, let's do an ADA technical analysis video. Let's look at, in this crazy, crazy time, what is going on with ADA on the charts. And this is a 6-hour chart. We're going to dig all the way into this. We're going to talk about this. But I do want to start here for a very important context to the video, especially if you're new here. Cardano, the bold and patient will win. It's a monthly chart. I tweeted it earlier today. This is the general theme of how I'm thinking. That's it. It's that simple. It's a very simple monthly chart with no lines or anything on it. And this is what it looks like over here. We have the story of Cardano. We've been tracking these hard fork events in green, but we can just for a second get rid of that. This is what I see. Cardano could continue to the downside, and I still see, because I'm here long-term, the long-term opportunity of what is on this chart, ADA. And so we're going to continue tracking everything that's going on. In particular, we know the downtrend that is in effect. It's been happening for 8 months. I mean, we're going to be going on a year soon. We're going to keep tracking it, and there could be more downside, but I'm just telling you, and this isn't financial advice, everybody. This is my opinion. I'm very bullish and long on Cardano, and I'm tracking it on a YouTube channel. But this chart looks very healthy to me, and you have to zoom out to be able to say that, right? This is only a small part of the story, this downtrend that Cardano has been in. Crypto's been in a downtrend. Cardano kind of outperforming to the downside a little bit in certain ways if you compare it to some cryptos, and that's okay because it outperforms to the upside. But I want to talk about the technicals in terms of the charts and what's going on. And so let's start digging in, and I actually want to go over to the daily chart. For reference, I don't know if you were on the live stream last night, I started talking about this falling, broadening wedge that's kind of just been forming in this downtrend. It's just lower lows and lower highs. And we're going to talk about this actually, the lower lows and lower highs, the failure of Cardano to break to the upside, to give us the bullish confirmation month after month. We're going to talk about that. But I talked about just this lower trend line that we have here on this falling broadening wedge. And this area right here, right around 50 cents, currently directly below Cardano. And why that's interesting is because we have the 50-cent target that we've been talking about for months, since the beginning of the year, right there. But when I was looking at the charts, and let me go back over here, let's change this is actually weekly. I was just looking at the charts, and this is extremely compelling data that I really didn't put together until like right before I started recording the video. If we remember this consolidation that happened all the way back here, and we're looking to, the bottom of the bear market 2018, all the way as Cardano is consolidating and then finally entering its bull run. But if we just plot this line, it's pretty interesting to see where that line leads us, right? And I want to go over here to the daily chart and kind of do the same thing. And this is going to be, I have to zoom out briefly to do this, but I want to chart a line right there, this trend line. And if you look at this now, so we talked about how kind of interesting it was to see confluence of this lower trend line of the falling broadening wedge with the 50-cent target, right, out of this triangle pattern we've been talking about all year long. But now it's kind of a trifecta of confluence going on here on the charts right now. Now we have this trend line all the way extending from really when Cardano fell into the bear market low. Will that area hold? It certainly is such an interesting data point on these charts. And there is a lot going on in the world. There is a lot going on in crypto world, the real world. And The fact remains, though, in my view, that these charts and the targets involved are there for us to utilize even still, even though we don't know what's going to happen on a daily basis in regards to news. News kind of acts as a trigger to hit these targets, right? And then when those targets are hit, and Cardano's been hitting targets, we see what kind of confirmations we're getting. For instance, we hit an 80-cent target, remember, and look at all the support there. And I don't think that's a coincidence. This is because patterns, in my view, and targets work. And we've been tracking the consolidation of Cardano from that point, and it just didn't, we didn't get that bullish reversal. We didn't get the bullish confirmation because guess what? A lot of different events triggered Cardano to give us the confirmations and to actually continue to the downside to its next target. The question is right now, two questions kind of, will Cardano hit this 50-cent area? So much interesting data right there. Or will Cardano bounce, right? But then the second question is, if Cardano does hit the 50-cent target, will there be support there, right? Will there be some type of structure formed similar to how we saw 80 cents? And Cardano kind of interacted with 80 cents a couple of times before falling below it most recently. So the 50-cent target is something that's very much on my mind right now. And seeing how ADA interacts with that will be very telling. Now, in regards to that 50-cent area, whether or not we get there, I want to dig in on the 6-hour chart because I noticed something. And so I'm a little reluctant to talk about a Fibonacci support right now. It's been just months and months and months, and we look for Fibonacci supports for just kind of a bullish confirmation of sorts, or at least the very first hint of bullish confirmation. We look for higher low support in reversals, and it's just kind of been like Cardano has just continued to let us down, and the Fibonacci the Fibonacci higher low support areas have continued to let us down, and so that's why I'm like reluctant to chart it, but I'm going to because we have to, because this is exactly why we use it. We wait for that confirmation, that higher low confirmation. So swing low so far from this downtrend that we've gotten to this very small swing high. It's nothing crazy, just right around 70 cents on the 6-hour. I can zoom in. You can see Cardano wicked on the 6-hour. This was the last 6-hour candle not too long ago. We have a new 6-hour candle as I'm doing this video. 5 hours, 22 minutes left. But the support is there currently. And it's currently trading just above the 618 of the support area, right around 62, 63 cents. The 786 is right around 60 to 61 cents. It's a support area I'll be watching in the very short term. Now, I already talked about how I'm reluctant to talk about that because it's just kind of like Cardano keeps kind of faking us out with these support areas and it just keeps falling, meaning lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. So we'll track that, but I'm almost, and I am trying to figure out how to say this. Let me present the data first. When I'm looking at what's happening right here with Cardano's move on these charts and the structure that's trying to be formed, it's very reminiscent of what happened back here, right? And Cardano was hitting an 80-cent range and basically consolidating and forming structure and hitting its target. And the reason why that is because you can see Cardano kind of just plummeted to 80 cents, got kind of a brief bounce, but then put in another lower low. Now, the reason why it's reminiscent and the similarities I see right now are we could liken kind of this move for Cardano to this swing high. We can liken where Cardano is right now to this move right here. Cardano testing its own Fibonacci support, higher low support, to see if we're going to get a higher low bounce to the upside, right? A strong reversal is what we're looking for there. And an immediate one, right? The velocity of those types of things are very obvious on the charts, and they just haven't seemed to happen a lot for Cardano this year at all. So going back to this chart now, we're looking at this, a similar Fibonacci, and you can just see Cardano failed support at the Fibonacci here and fell to a lower low. And this is what I'm saying. Will this support fail and fall to a lower low, hitting the 50-cent target? Is the path for 50 cents right there on the charts? The path is right there. It's very speculative. But when we're looking at this, it could end up being more of it could end up being a bullish reversal that we just have to wait a little bit longer for, right? So instead of just a really strong higher low bounce right now for Cardano and really the chart's just turning around quick, right? And we're testing key areas of resistance up here. Instead of that happening, we might have to hit 50 cents, and then the structure begins forming in kind of a slower way. And another data point on this move right now is you can see Cardano, it could potentially fall to 50 cents and actually put in a higher low. I don't know exactly where this RSI on the 6 hour would go, but it could put in a higher low on this RSI, this slower moving momentum oscillator. So meaning we could have a lower low on the charts and a higher low on the momentum oscillator. And this could be bullish divergence. This could show a sign of bullishness for Cardano in the short to midterm. And that's exactly what happened back here. Cardano put in a lower low, but a higher low here on the RSI. So the setup is very similar, potentially getting ready to play out with the 50-cent target just below us. I would love to see that 50-cent target not be hit. It's just going to take some patience to see how Cardano or how ADA interacts with the current support it's at and what kind of structure forms as we hover above 50 cents right now. And if you look at this, Cardano right now around 20% from 50 cents. So it's a big move to the downside. The trigger for that event would be to see Cardano impacted by everything else. And everything else would be impacted by whatever is happening. Anything can happen overnight, tomorrow, and an hour from now that triggers a downside event, and we wait for targets to be hit in those events. And that's why we have this. This is a roadmap. I've been talking about 50 cents all year for Cardano because it's just an area we want to be prepared for in the case that cryptos are down. And we're living that reality right now. Cryptos are down. And just because 50 cents is a target too, and that's something we're prepared for and we've been prepared for, it doesn't mean Cardano can't fall lower. It doesn't mean crypto markets in general can't fall lower than 20% from where they are right now. We could be getting ready to enter a pretty bearish season. And many people might be like, Dan, Cardano's down like crazy from all-time highs. That's pretty bearish. That's not to me. It's really not to me. What gets bearish is the wintry chill of bottom formations. And a really good example of that, a good illustration of that, I go over to Bitcoin charts, is kind of this. This is a weekly, by the way. This is the bearish wintry chill. It's just, and I don't feel that just yet in these markets. A lot of people in this environment are shaken out and they're gone, and engagement on these YouTube videos and Twitter is even worse than it is right now. I don't feel that wintry chill right now, but that could potentially be what is in store for crypto markets if things don't turn around for traditional markets and crypto markets in the short to midterm. So we're going to continue tracking it. Just some things to be prepared for, just some of my thoughts in terms of technical analysis and ADA charts. But this is the chart, everybody. Look at it. It's just a nice chart, even if Cardano's falling even lower than it is right now. I'm long. I'm trying to be as prepared as I can be and just tracking it. So I appreciate you for coming by. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.